Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. When you pay with membership rewards points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with a qualifying airline through Amex Travel, you can get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Hi, I'm Andrea Claire, and this is my podcast. My guest today is Katharin von Gavel, who holds a doctorate in natural medicine, a Bachelor of Science in Podology, and a Diploma in Chiropody, and is the founder of Footlogix. Katharin launched Footlogix in 2007, the world's first and only pediceutical foot care line delivering transformational results that elevate pedicures to a new standard of excellence and wellness. She was embracing feet long before OnlyFans made them mad popular, and she brings decades of specialized expertise to explain why foot care in midlife is more than just a cosmetic routine. Katharin unpacks the structural, physiological changes feet undergo during menopause, highlighting how hormonal drops impact skin moisture, barrier function, and mobility. Our dogs are literally screaming at us, and Katharin is here to show how the path to longevity really starts with us putting our best foot forward. But it's not all about feet. Katharin also shares the reality of being a woman founder in business, facing rooms of middle-aged male bankers with deciding power, and why her preferred employees are actually women in midlife. Get ready to dig your heels in. Katharin, welcome to the Fuck You 50s.
Well, I've been in the Canadian beauty industry, specifically the pedicure industry, for 52 years.
Wow.
Yes, a long time.
Yeah.
I started out actually in what we would call today a medi spa.
Yeah.
So that's how I started out, with full service aesthetics, everything from waxing to some more quasi-medical procedures. And I did that for 24 years. And then just moved on and thought, what area do I really want to specialize in? And it was all about feet. And of course, at the time when I started back in the 70s, there was nobody doing podiatry, podology, pedicures were just, for the super elite. And boy, have things changed.
And you talk about on your website about pediceuticals. So I guess it's more like the medi spa kind of pharmaceutical grade pedicures. Is that correct?
I invented that word, pediceuticals. We have nutraceuticals, cosmeceuticals. We have all kinds of ceuticals, but there was nothing foot related. So I thought, so it's Footlogix pediceuticals, which is our trademark name. And that differentiated us. We are still registered around the world as a cosmetic, but it's trying to elevate the brand, to elevate professionals. Because today, if you go for a pedicure, the average consumer doesn't know what to ask for. And I say that the pedicure industry is the only industry that hasn't changed in 50 years.
Wow.
We don't do hair the way we used to. You don't see people getting perms and styles like we did 30 years ago. Skincare has changed. When I first started in 1972, the biggest breakthrough in skincare was collagen. And look where we are today.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the changes we make. And, when I say hair care, you go to a hair salon, the worst thing that can happen is they burn your scalp or cut your ear off. You're not dead. You get a bad facial, you could be scarred for life.
Yep.
You get a bad manicure service, you could end up with a staph infection. You get a bad pedicure. If you're immunocompromised, and a lot of 50, 60-year-olds are still wanting to get pedicures, because we're young, you could be dead in 3 weeks. So the key is, how do we educate the consumer to ask the right questions when they go for a pedicure? And how do we elevate the pedicure technician to be able to identify all the things that we see on 85% of the walking adult population today? It's no longer one size fits all.
Yeah.
So the problem is the technicians, especially in Canada, and you're Canadian, right?
Yep.
In Canada, anybody can call themselves a pedicurist. Anybody can get into the beauty industry. There's not really any structure or legislation or anything around that across the country. So the key is education.
Yeah.
And there are so many things happening with people's feet today that we need to make sure the consumer's aware and the technicians are educated. And that's just not happening fast enough.
I myself have had some health issues, and I was excited to talk to you today too, because I'm still kind of in like, I see a rheumatologist. They've been trying to diagnose, like in Singapore, they said that I had like gosh, now I forget what it was called. We moved back to Canada in 2022, and my rheumatologist here is on the fence of like, maybe I have lupus. They're not sure. I keep getting all these tests done, but yesterday it's like suddenly my feet, because I go through like spurts of having just feeling unwell,
Right.
right? And yesterday my feet were killing me. I have pain in both of my feet up to like my mid calf. I've been icing my feet like crazy, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great to speak to you.
Oh, is the pain at a specific time of day, more or less?
Um, I find during the day when I'm up and moving about, I do tend to kind of forget about it. So I would say in the morning when I first wake up, it lasts for a while. And I'm a hair and makeup artist by trade, so I am on my feet and running around a lot. And then I also am 55, so it's probably like a combination of things. But I do know that a lot of, and because my podcast is about women in midlife, I do find a lot of us, like, you get to a certain age and you start having joint issues, and then it's just trying to figure out like, why is that happening? Is it your footwear? Is it like an autoimmune issue? Is it like a combination of things? There's so much more information, like you say, that just going to have like a regular $20 pedicure is probably not going to be your best foot forward. Pardon that pun.
And you're right, it's not. Because that $20 pedicure doesn't give the salon enough money to have proper infection control procedures in place and have proper products. And I love to talk about products because, we have so much available to us for skincare. And so many things have changed in skincare. But as I said, foot care is no longer one size fits all. And why is that? It's because in the last 20 years, our lifestyles have changed so much, with everyone being on a keyboard, or, even kids today, you see 2-year-olds on a keyboard. Nobody is moving their lower limbs anymore like we used to. Oh, sure, you can be at the gym 3 times a week. What, for an hour? You don't get the lower leg movement
Yeah.
that we got 30 and 40 and 50 years ago. So what happens? By not getting that same movement, we have a certain amount of stagnation. We haven't got that blood flow moving up the leg and fresh new oxygen supply moving down the leg. So the feet being the furthest away from the pump, the heart, the
Hmm.
circulation isn't the same. And by the time you hit 50 and 60, it's noticeably diminished from nerve supply, which is something like what you would have now, because
Yeah.
that's got to be nerve related. The whole system is not being fed. Now, the skin, being the outside layer furthest away from the heart, isn't getting the return blood flow and the nourishment that it needs. So it starts to break down. And as soon as the skin starts to break down, we've got little micro lesions. That's an invisible opening or portal of entry to the skin.
Hmm.
You walk through a gym or you walk around a pool, you try on a pair of shoes, and all of a sudden you're picking up stuff that you didn't have before. Could be a fungal infection, a viral infection like a plantar wart. It could be all kinds of different bacteria. And today, with globalization, there is so much out there that we're picking up just because we have dry skin, because of our lifestyles, because we're
Yeah.
not moving enough. So all of a sudden, products need to change. We have greasy creams and salves that we've been using for decades, but those don't work anymore today because they are made to occlude the skin, to seal the skin, to try and hold moisture in. But that works on the face and the body. But on the feet, there's no moisture left to hold in. So what are we doing by occluding the skin? If you're a diabetic, you're actually accelerating the skin to break down.
Yeah.
What we need, and why I developed Footlogix pediceuticals, is we need products that can penetrate into the skin of the feet and remain in the skin long term. And that was not on the market. So using old products in these $20 salons, they're using the same stuff we used 50 years ago. And that's just not sufficient anymore today. So we needed to make a change. And that's why I developed Footlogix.
And how big is your product range now? Like, do you have a bunch of different SKUs or?
Yes, we have about 33 different SKUs,
Yep.
a number of different sizes in each SKU. We have a professional brand that we actually recommend the educated technician to use in salon. We also now have a lot of doctors using it. We have professional foot care clinics around the world using it. So we started in the salon business because that's my background, and it's just expanded into all kinds of anybody working with feet, a lot of foot care nurses using it. So that's our professional brand. And now we're probably up to 15 different products that people can use at home. So for example, if you were getting a facial or you had an esthetician and she recommends you're now 50 or 60, she's not going to recommend the acne treatment that you would give to your 19-year-old. She's
Right.
going to recommend something for a 50, 60-year-old. Same thing goes with feet. It's no longer one size fits all. You can't put the same stuff on your feet that a 19-year-old fit athletic person uses when you're 50 or 60 or
Hmm.
70 or 80. And I
Yeah.
say 70 or 80 because I'm over 70 and I still want to have a nice pedicure and I want to have my toes and toenails looking pretty. And I like to have soft feet when I get invited to that barbecue and want to wear my new strappy sandals.
Yeah.
So it's important to use the right products for the right skin condition. And that we need to educate technicians on.
I was looking at your, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called right now, but for like tired feet and legs. And I was thinking,
Yes.
gosh, I feel like that's what I need.
Yes. And, that's really getting harder and harder these days because of regulatory issues around the world. We do prefer to be recognized or registered as a cosmetic. So some of these things around the world, we have to actually change. And tired leg, Health Canada has unfortunately told us we can't sell tired leg in Canada anymore as of
Oh,
just
really?
recently, which is really too bad. But we're still able to sell it all around the rest of the world.
Right. I'll just have to go back to Singapore and grab it.
Well, are you in Toronto?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto now. Actually, it's I'm not sure if you're at your office or if you're at home, but I actually live in Etobicoke, and then I
Oh,
saw
so
like
do I.
your address for your company seems to be like 9 minutes from my house.
Oh, really? No, I'm in the office. I can't work from home. I have to be in the office around people.
In your head office, do you see like customers at your office, or is that just HQ and then
Yes.
you just supply to
We
companies?
supply to the wholesalers that sell to the salons and spas that then sell to the retail. Now
Okay.
we do sell on Amazon in the US. And I see some of our customers actually sell on Amazon in Canada as well. But we are just manufacturers. We have our head office in Toronto. Then we have our big warehouse for international distribution in Niagara Falls, New York. And we also have an office and staff and production facilities in Belgium.
Wow. So when did you so you started the company in 2007.
Yes.
How fast did you become global?
It was surprising. It was actually very fast. I never thought, I never believed that we would be anything beyond Canada and maybe the US. And we were at a big trade show in Las Vegas, and a distributor from Switzerland came to us and said, "We'd be interested in carrying your line in Switzerland." We went, really? Wow. Okay. And that's how it started. And at different trade shows that we went to, the beauty shows, the largest beauty shows, the Cosmoprof,
Yeah.
the Buyers Show. And that's where we've got all our international business from. And now we're in almost 90 countries around the world. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And as a woman founder, have you had any, like, I feel like the beauty industry has generally been pretty open and accepting for everybody, but have you had any walls that you've had to kind of break
Oh,
through?
many, not as many today. But oh, yes, as I was growing, as I said, I've been in business for 50 plus years.
Yeah.
And oh, I remember times when I'd be in a meeting with generally bankers that were in those days. Now I'm talking 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
mostly white, middle-aged men. And they'd be looking at this 30, 40-year-old at the end of the boardroom table. And you knew exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with business or giving you money. So I felt, yes, as a female, I think we have to work that much harder. But I believe in not giving up your femininity. I don't believe that we should try to be like men because that just gives us a bad rap. That makes people call us bitches or bullies or I think we should just be firm, be assertive. And I always love to say, I always love to say this to young women that I'm mentoring in business. There are certain things we can learn from men without trying to be men. So I always say, for example, most men will walk by a mirror and look in the mirror and what do they see? Their shoulders go back, their chin goes up, and they see Adonis. They could be the ugliest creature on earth, but they see themselves as
Yeah.
Adonis. What do we do as women? We walk by a mirror and we go, oh, we can be 5'8", 120 pounds, absolutely gorgeous. And we say, oh, I'm so little, too much fat here. And look, I have a couple of wrinkles here. We're so hard on ourselves. Why don't we just be like men and look in the mirror and see the most beautiful, wonderful, strong woman?
Yeah.
That's hard to do as a woman. But if we can do that, we can play that game with men just as easily. You
Yeah.
just have to be assertive and strong and
Yeah.
don't fall into that game.
Yeah. And even just kind of being yourself, like trust yourself and who you are and what you
Absolutely.
have to offer for sure.
Know your subject matter. Make sure you know what you're talking about. And if
Yeah.
you do, you can win at this all the time. And it is definitely easier today, but I will say it is still a man's world.
Yeah.
There's no question as a woman, and especially as a woman over 50, you have to work harder.
It's crazy, Catherine, because I really like the more guests I have and the more conversation I have with my podcast, and also being 55 years old myself, the gendered ageism is like it kind of seems astronomical to me. And I know so many women that are struggling to find work that have like an intensely strong resumes, and all different fields of work, whether it's corporate or whether it's creative. And it's so crazy that men can get older and have more character, become silver
Yes,
foxes, like all
yes,
this that does not get passed on to women. We just get old. I
yes.
mean,
And
that's what society does to us.
it's true. And that's why I think we have more and more women our age. Well, I shouldn't say our age. I'm already over 70, but more and more women over 50 saying, I'm going to start my own thing
Yeah.
and do well
Yeah.
because we as women are very capable.
I would love to encourage for like my listeners to also really make sure that when you're looking for whatever it is, if you're looking for someone to do some work around your house or like I don't know, hire someone for your company, like look who's available that are women in midlife because there's a lot that are looking for work and I feel we
You're
just kind
right.
of get skipped over. And if you're starting a company and you're like midlife and you like look for people that can work with you as well. Like it's funny, like a lot of times people do, even when you're in a hiring position and you're in midlife, I feel like a lot of people go like, oh, I'll get someone that's a bit younger. And I understand like sometimes they're cheaper, they're just starting out. But yeah, I unfortunately I've spoken to a lot of women that are struggling looking for work. And
But I will tell you, as a older female,
yes,
I prefer to hire women over 40. They have experience. They're reliable. They're they're willing to give it all. Mature women are the best employee. I don't know why people are having a hard time hiring slightly older women because they're the best to have. I would hire a 50-year-old 100 times before I would hire a 20-year-old.
I feel like in this day and age too, women in midlife have a lot more work ethic as well.
Oh, absolutely. And they're very capable. Again, something I preach to young women. I say, just think of what we can do as women and look at all the very successful men in the world. What's the one thing they all have in common? They all have a wife or a female partner or a female assistant that
Hmm.
makes their life easy because all they have to do is focus on one thing. What do we do as women? We are caregivers. We look after kids. We look after aging parents. We have to remember, oh, it's so-and-so's, it's mother-in-law's birthday. What do? We run out and make sure that the gifts are looked after. We make sure the Christmas gifts are looked after. We make sure that our kids have the little birthday party, or our grandkids have the birthday parties all sorted out. We are
Yeah.
capable of doing so much.
And on top of all that, we can find the ketchup in the fridge.
That's right. And we can do it all well. I mean, how many of us? I think every woman can relate to the man opening the fridge. Where's the ketchup? It's
Yeah.
right in front of your nose. Really, we're so capable. And if we could just remember how capable we are, and I'm not putting down men. I love men.
Yeah.
I think they're wonderful to have in my life, but we are so
They
much
just
more.
need to be a bit more quiet.
Yes, we just have to remember how capable we are at so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection and apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
At Ollie, we've got wellness down to a science. From PMS to pregnancy to menopause, our women's wellness line offers science-backed support for every stage. No judgment, no shame, none of the stigma. Just supplements designed to meet you wherever you're at. Ollie, choose science over shame. Find support at a retailer near you or on ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
As a major founder in the beauty space, what commercialized midlife beauty standards do you most want to see completely dismantled?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I think society is putting too much emphasis on how we look from the neck up. With all the things that we're seeing through social media today, we never used to have that. From the fillers to the Botox to people are disfiguring themselves because of what seems to be the norm of what we have to do to be able to stay relevant. And I think that's too much. I think we have to throw that back a little bit and not be that extreme worrying about how we look. Yes, I think it's important that we look after ourselves and take care of ourselves with the best products. I just think some women are taking it to an extreme, and I think as society is putting that on us, and we have to push back and say, look who we are. We're pretty great just as we are.
Yes, I agree 100%. I feel like so often we're just trying to appease everybody else, and we just need to look in the mirror and be happy with
Who
ourselves.
we are.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, being in the foot business, I always say to people, yes, from the neck up, it's wonderful to look great. But how often, of course, because I'm in feet, I'll go out, my eyes are always focused below the ankles. And I see the most beautiful women, and I look down at their feet and they're wearing sandals, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you've got to do something with the skin on your feet, because now it's a wellness thing. It's not just aesthetic. Yes, aesthetically, they look terrible. You need to do something with those cracks and those calluses on your feet, but it's a wellness thing, because once you're over 50 and you are slightly immunocompromised in certain ways and you have dry skin, you can pick up things that can cause you long-term problems. So let's take beauty to the whole body and not just focus on the neck up with, fillers and Botox and big lips.
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of 100% rolls into my next question too, is like how much of the anti-aging focus on women's changing feet is legitimate physiological care, which
It is physiological, because of course, as we age, the fat pads in our feet lessen. You think of a cute little baby, you look at their feet and you just want to cuddle their feet. They look so cute and pudgy. As we age, that all goes away. And so many of us that are over 50 today, what did we used to do? We used to wear 3-inch stilettos all day long. And that really killed our feet. So our fat pads have diminished. We're walking on bone much more. That's causing us corns and calluses and a lot of discomfort. It's causing us pinched nerves, neuromas. It's causing us bunions. So yes, the feet change as we get older. And another reason we need to look after them, especially the skin of the feet, because there's not a lot we can do with fat pads, although we do see in the US there are certain podiatrists that are injecting fat into the bottoms of the feet. Don't do that.
Oh
Don't
my
start
God.
don't start doing don't start injecting anything into your feet. Wear comfortable shoes, wear good shoes. Flip-flops are not always the best, but yes, look after your feet so that you don't have those structural changes affect you negatively.
I was going to say too, it's like if you're having a problem with your feet, you talk about like of course, we should be in good exercise habits from when we're younger. But a lot of women in midlife, they start picking up exercise habits when they're in midlife. But if
Yeah,
you're having problems with your feet, if your feet are sore, autoimmune, like joint issues, whatever that happens to be, then we tend to slow down more and get less
absolutely.
exercise because it's hard to exercise when your feet are incredibly sore.
Absolutely. So looking after your feet, being they'll carry us around for a lifetime, we need to look
Yes.
after our feet in all ways to help us carry through nice, great, healthy longevity.
And I think too, like your point about how you want to make sure you don't have bare feet because you can just like pick things up. And the flight attendant industry, like they talk about people flying and they say the amount of times that they see people walking into the washrooms with like no footwear
It's
on and sometimes even just
so
bare
gross.
feet.
I'm devastated every time I see that. I just want to talk to people, say, please don't do that.
You should just get cards made with QR codes and just like pass them out to people.
Yeah, I've thought about
Uh,
that, and the one thing I feel that as we get older, especially once you're my age, over 70, I feel like you can get away with a lot more than we could when we were younger. I can get away with saying to somebody, you need to look after your feet, and here's my card. I wouldn't have done that 10 years ago.
well, I mean, I would think that maybe with the launch of OnlyFans, maybe people are taking better care of their feet. Like, did you see your sales go up a little bit? Like maybe they're taking more care.
Yes, they are taking more care of their feet.
I listened to the comedian Ronnie Chang. He's from like Malaysia and had lived in Singapore and was in Crazy Rich Asians. And I love his stand-up comedy. There's one part of his stand-up where he talks about how North Americans typically don't wash their feet that often because they think when they're standing in the shower, the water just
So true.
automatically runs off and cleans their feet. And it's so
So
funny.
true.
Like that lives in my head so often because I'll be in a shower and I literally wash my feet. But then I'm like, gosh, did I wash my feet prior to living in Asia or was that something after living there? I'm like, it's so funny that I literally can't remember if I washed my feet
And
15
I
years
ask
ago.
people that all the time. Do you actually wash the bottoms of your feet? We have this great foot file that doesn't shred the skin. And say, just please put this in your shower and remember to wash your feet. If not every day, please regularly wash your feet and look at the bottom
Uh,
of your feet. That's important.
although it's getting harder as I'm getting older to look at the bottom of my feet.
I know the feeling. And that's why pedicure services today are really thriving because so many of us over 50, we either can't bend down enough or we can't see. We need glasses with, can't see with or can't see without. And we just, aren't flexible enough to bend down and cut our toenails regularly. So a good pedicure is really important.
Yeah.
It's just not that discount pedicure that we should be doing if we're over 50.
Yeah, I honestly, I literally just learned that the past couple of days doing some research before having you on, Katharin, and I was like, oh, I think I'm guilty of the $20 pedicure, but I need to change that.
If you go to a salon that uses Footlogix, they generally have the education to go along with identifying issues on the feet, and they will be able to give you the correct products for take-home care as well. So if the salon uses Footlogix, they've gotten an advanced education. And their salon prices are typically higher than the $20 because they use infection control products and infection control protocols, etc. So that's important.
Right. Absolutely important. I miss the reflexology too that I used to get. And there must be some places here that also do reflexology. I just haven't, it
There
doesn't
are,
seem to be
but
as
you're right.
prevalent. Yeah.
Asia is much more common when it comes to all those foot treatments. I mean, at every corner you find a place that looks after your feet.
Well, and it's interesting too, because in Singapore, I would go for a facial. And even though I'm not having my feet done, before I had my facial, they would sit you down, they give you a little foot bath and like clean your
Yeah.
feet before you get up on the bed for a facial. I'm like, I kind of I miss
Yes, it's
that.
true.
Our bodies change drastically during menopause, yet nobody ever talks about what that does to our feet, like skin moisture, structural mobility. What is the unspoken connection, if you know, between hormone shifts in your 50s and foot health?
Well, that's a that's a total subject all on its own. I'm a big believer in bioidentical hormone therapy when you're over 50.
Okay.
I don't know if you've done podcasts on bioidentical hormone therapies.
No, not yet. I've had people talk about like testosterone and things like that, but not like the bioidentical.
It is so important for your whole body, and of course, also it affects your feet. Um, I remember going through, and interestingly enough, I had these calluses and dry skin on my feet forever that I would take I would take the blade to my feet just to take them off. And then I went through early 50s. I just was feeling miserable. I felt like I couldn't pinpoint it. Something was just not right with my life. And a general practitioner said, "Oh, it's called depression." I said, "No, no, no, you got the wrong person. I am not a depressed person." And I did more research and more research. And somebody gave me the book by Suzanne Summers that's on the bioidentical
Oh
hormone
yeah.
therapy. And then I started researching it where I can do this in Toronto. It was very difficult, although it's much easier today, but not with the average general practitioner. I finally got somewhere, got onto these bioidentical hormones, had my blood tested every 3 months and had them compounded just for me. Within 3 months, my life changed. And the funny thing is, I never had to worry about taking a blade to the calluses on my feet anymore. It was
Wow.
amazing. Just the hormones affect the entire body from head to toe. And in my opinion, just because I've lived through it, changes your whole life.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in that. And I know that there are doctors that will give you some pushback on that, but I think it's just because they haven't got the latest education that's available.
I think too, ultimately, it's like what you find that works for you is great. Like, we just want to age well. I don't even want to say age gracefully. That's such a,
No, you're right. We want to age well.
yes.
We want to be healthy when we're 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I think monitoring your hormones and seeing where you might need some help,
Yeah.
I think is very important.
This kind of rolls into the same kind of thing. But midlife women are routinely gaslit by doctors who tell them physical changes are just a normal part of aging. What
Wrong.
are the top 3 red flags in foot and skin health that women should absolutely not ignore?
Well, I'm not sure if there are 3, but 2, first of all, is
Okay.
the change in skin, the lessening of the fat pads and the skin getting dry. Dry skin on feet is not, as I said earlier, is not just an aesthetic thing. It's actually a health and wellness thing. Your skin on your feet should be perfect. In fact, you shouldn't feel your feet at all. The minute you feel your feet, whether it's from pain or dryness or roughness, you should not feel your feet when you're healthy. So starting out with the skin, monitoring skin and nails is the first sign. When that changes, that's the first sign we have to look after something. Then, of course, if we have any tingling sensation, maybe not so much pain, but one of the red flags is change in sensation on your feet. That's not a good thing. In some cases, it could be nerve related, sciatica, in some cases, neuropathy, blood sugar levels going up a bit, and all of a sudden the nerves and the muscles and blood supply are just not what they were.
Yep.
So those are the changes that if you start to feel those, you need to look after it and don't just ignore it and let it go and say, "Oh, it's an aging thing."
It
Not
it
not what we
it is
want.
it is interesting. I've had that with a couple of things that I've gone to, like various ailments or things that pop up for me, and I've had doctors have said, "Oh, this is just your new normal because of your age." And I do tend to push back and also we have Dr. Google these days.
Yes.
So you can be like, well,
And now with AI, uh, we are using that maybe a little bit too much, but definitely I would push back. If a doctor says to me, oh, it's just part of getting old, I would absolutely push back and look for another opinion or
yeah.
two or three or four.
That's the one thing that I felt was good in Singapore, where it had both private and public
Yes.
medicine, and
Yes.
and I know it's very controversial here, the opinions of private medicine, but it is nice if you can kind of push back and then just ask for a test, and then you can just get it done, and
I agree.
yeah,
And we do actually have private medicine here in Canada. Here in Toronto, I know because I go to one of those places that is basically, I call it the country club of medicine. It costs you a little bit of money to go there, but you get more than just 10 minutes with your general practitioner. And
yeah,
if you have issues, especially things like hormones and complete body balancing, I think that's important. And I always say, if you had a problem with your car and you had to spend 3 or 4,000 on your car, you would do that because you paid a lot of money for your car.
yeah,
But your body, you got it for free. So how many times do we say, oh, I can't spend any money on my body? That's wrong. Don't buy another pair of shoes or don't buy that dress, but spend money on your body to stay healthy and to age well.
yeah. That's a really good point. Is there any kind of habits, like daily habits, that you think people should get into with their feet aside from washing them when they're in the shower?
Definitely washing them every day. And I would strongly suggest not only over 50, but generally today, because of lifestyles, anyone over 25 should be moisturizing every day with a proper, of course, I say Footlogix because that's the only product line that's available that penetrates into the skin and doesn't just sit on the skin.
Mhm.
Penetrates within 30 seconds. That's apply and go. Whether it's just a moisturizer or the once a week callus softener in the shower. To keep the skin healthy, we need to have a 30% moisture content on the skin. And that you can get with daily Footlogix maintenance with one of our products that maintain healthy skin and nails. Not only keeps your skin moisturized, but healthy skin will prevent you from picking up anything. And of
Yeah.
course, I recommend wearing shoes, whether you're going to the beach, on the sand, in the water, wear shoes. If you're going anywhere, don't ever go barefoot. Always have a pair of shoes, or if you have to, socks on. Don't go barefoot anywhere.
It's interesting. There's a lot of conversation about when you're visiting people's homes. So in Canada, we tend to have our shoes on, I would say, although I tend to ask my guests to take their shoes off when they come to
Right.
my house. But I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother used to come around with her, I guess, like visiting shoes. She had like a little pack of slippers, like indoor slippers that she would
Right.
wear. And I wonder if we're going to see a comeback of that, especially with more knowledge that gets out there about foot health
I
and
do
just
that. I bring
do
my
you?
own little indoor slippers, or I
I
wear socks.
yeah, and I have had guests where they've come over and then I see them like changing their shoes out and they're like, these are my indoor shoes. I'm like, that's
Yes.
fine. You don't want to walk around with shoes that have been outside
Right.
because there's so much out there that you're picking up that you're bringing in.
Right. You don't want to do that. Keep your outside shoes at the door.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you're going through airport security, don't ever go with bare feet. At least keep socks on. Do not
Yes.
go through airport security with bare feet.
I mean, thankfully we're getting a slightly past where they're making you take off your footwear, but I tend to, I don't know if you're going to cringe at this, Catherine, but I tend to not wear socks a lot. I'll just wear my feet barefoot in the shoes. And then when I get to the airport and I'm having to take off my shoes, I'm like, oh, like,
Carry socks with you and put them on to walk through the security piece.
yes, I should be doing that. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on wearing your like wearing those socks in your footwear?
No, as long as you don't walk with bare feet anywhere else where people have walked with their shoes
Perfect.
or where public has walked. inside your shoes is okay. Not something
Okay,
I
amazing.
really often recommend, but no, that's no problem.
Thank you so much, Katharin. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience?
Just please remember, foot care today is really part of major wellness, well-being, and healthcare. It's so important, and we often forget about our feet. You know, I see it all the time when we're at a trade show. Somebody will come to our booth and look at our before and after pictures, and you can see their heads turning and watching as they walk by, and then they stop, and you can see that they've got this issue themselves. And yet,
Yeah.
when you say, "Oh, let me see your feet so I can give you the correct product," they say, "Oh my gosh, no, I'm way too embarrassed." And I'll say, "But I just saw you at the booth next door, standing with a string between your legs, getting a spray-on tan, totally naked. And you know what? You're not embarrassed standing there naked, getting a spray-on tan, or getting your nipples pierced 3 booths down the hall, but you're afraid to show me your feet because you're embarrassed."
Yeah.
85% of the walking adult population. You're not alone. So many people have skin issues and nail issues. You're not alone. Start changing that now and look after your feet.
You know, because I work on set doing hair and makeup, and part of my job is also to look at models' nails and their feet. And sometimes if they're wearing open-toed shoes, or sometimes like no shoes on set, and I'll be like, "Oh, I just need to have a quick look at your feet." And I would say 9 times out of 10, they're always like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know my feet were going to be shown. Oh, they look so bad."
Right? Let's change that. Let's make sure when they look great from the neck up and from, everything up, that their feet look great too. And they're not
Yes.
embarrassed. We want to get people
100%.
not to be embarrassed about their feet. 30 seconds in the morning or at night, whatever you choose, put your Footlogix mousse on. That's all it takes.
Not that hard. 30 seconds. I think we can do that.
We have to get just in the habit of, just like we comb our hair and brush our teeth, it's just a habit. It takes no time at all, and it makes a huge difference.
If you can get lost in a downward spiral, scrolling on Instagram for an hour, you can take 30 seconds to moisturize your
Absolutely.
feet. Thanks for tuning in to the Fuck You 50s. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to follow and rate the podcast. And we would love to connect with you on Instagram. So be sure to follow us at the Fuck You 50s. The Fuck You 50s is hosted by Andrea Clare. See you next time.
I see you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah! Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole fam.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.